Barbados. Get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you indeed all, and welcome to today. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of March, 2026. I'm Pearson Boyne. Good to have you. I know we love the music to our theme song, Morning Barbados, all of those. I love it too. You love the music. But have you taken time to look at the images we share in that theme? Have you taken time? That and those images tell the story of beautiful Barbados from coast to coast and inland as well. And so as we wake up today, let's appreciate where we are and where we can make a difference today. So I encourage all of you to spend some time first in thanking God for the opportunity to be alive today, to make that difference, and then contemplate seriously what difference can you make today. So welcome today to all of our viewers on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, cbc.bb. Thank you. Share the show, share the love. And of course, as always, as I remind you, if you know of something, be a partner with us. Tell us about it. And you can tell us about it via email. And that email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And we thank you for doing so. It is a busy week at the University of the West Indies at KFL indeed. And so today, tomorrow, there's going to be a lot happening there bright and early from 10 o'clock, as a matter of fact. So I'll tell you about that in a moment. But let me remind you that we're 10 days away from the day on which you will be rocking your socks. That's right, as we all stand in support of the Barbados Down Syndrome Association. And so on Friday the 20th, you're encouraged to rock your socks, your multicolored socks, to show your appreciation for your support of your understanding, because together we can eliminate loneliness, the loneliness felt by those with Down syndrome in Barbados. And so I encourage you to get out to the different locations this weekend, again at Sheraton Mall and again at Sky Mall. They'll be there. Look for the Barbados Down Syndrome Association's banner. Those are the official retailers of the multicolored socks. And all that you buy, the funds that you donate, go towards helping the association continue to uplift and help those who are managing others with Down syndrome. So I encourage you to get your socks and prepare to rock them. Tomorrow, Wednesday, in the 3W Oval Pavilion, that is the launch of that book that tells the story of that genius from Barbados, Jackie Opel. It's Jackie Opel, the Caribbean musical visionary, that launches at 10 o'clock in the 3W's Pavilion. The book is written by Elizabeth Watson, has been edited by Dr. Marcia Burrows and Professor Mike Allen. And so we want you to come. The invitation is yours. In the 3W's Pavilion, it's free. And while you're there, you make a purchase of the book. It's truly a story of times of the one and only Jackie Opel of Barbados. So that's that tomorrow. That's on one side of the campus. On the Guild Lawn, on the other side, there's going to be the Science Fair. That's a collaboration between the Faculty of Social Sciences and the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. And they're having that big fair from 10 o'clock in the morning as well. It's open to everyone. If you look at your screen, you see a lot of things going to be happening. It's going to be totally interactive, and they're giving you an opportunity to also witness an African fashion show, a games matrix bus, of food trucks will be there, music, entertainment, loads of giveaway, and a whole lot more. So we want to encourage the children, the adults, everyone to show up at that fair. Discover your future career at the University of the West Indies, particularly as put on by the faculties of Social Sciences and Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. That's tomorrow. It's Taste Week, all week long this week. But today, we're taking you into economics, the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies, to see the courses that you can study and then how you apply that to regular life and how important economics is. We'll talk to you a little bit more about that. We'll share the work of the Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center and what is on study there and offer so that you can be a part of that as well. Also today, we are going into, again, and getting more details about the Department of Culture and Performing Arts in that faculty. Can't wait to talk more about that. The energy in it really resonates well with everyone. And Mama can't raise no man. Mama can't raise no man. That's a book written by a man who will join us this morning. I want to hear a little bit more about him, the catalogue of books that he already has produced, and what led him to that form of thinking. We've talked to him in just a little while as well, right here on Mornin Barbados. But of course, as usual, we have our question of the day. And that question of the day will require you to think, to comment, and to call. Think, comment, call. Think, comment, call. Think, comment, call. And so the question today causes you to pause for just a moment and think of the Commonwealth. As you know, yesterday, Barbados, in a service at the Calvary Moravian Church, marked the Commonwealth Day. And so we ask you today, do you think the Commonwealth still has relevance for small island states like Barbados? Do you think the Commonwealth still has relevance for small island states like Barbados? What do you think? You don't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for perfection at all, but I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think the Commonwealth still has relevance for small island states like Barbados? 228-5562 or 228-5563 are the numbers to call, and you let me know your thoughts. You're thinking, do you think the Commonwealth as it exists still has relevance for small island states like Barbados? And I'm told it was spectacular yesterday. And so now you get a chance to share your view on all of this as well. 228-5562 or 63. I'm wearing my green tie today because, as we reminded you yesterday, all week long today and the rest of the week, you have opportunities to have your vision checked. Free of cost. It's Glaucoma Week. Awareness Week. And so we want you to go to all of the ophthalmologists and optometrists who are part of the initiative and get your eyes checked. It's important. It's the silent thief of sight. You don't even realize what's happening until it happens. And so I want you to really stop today and just walk into one of the centers. Any one of the ophthalmologists, call ahead, make sure that they are available at the time that you are accessible. And so I want you to go out to get your eyes checked at many centers across this island all week long. And I encourage you to do so today, because you may not even realize how your vision is fading and it's just moving so silently. You don't feel it, you just notice it. And so there's nothing that tells you ahead of time that this will happen to you. There's some first indicators, because there's some first generation people who may have been having glaucoma issues, and so you are likely to have. And then there's secondary and tertiary. So look at your screen, And so we want to encourage you to go to these that you see. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, as well, you can go to the National Disabilities Unit from 9 in the morning, or the Maria Holder Diabetes Center in Warrens on Wednesday and Friday. And so I want you to really get out this week and have your eyes checked. Those of us who wear spectacles, it's even more important for us to really follow up on those eye checks. So I encourage you, it's absolutely free this week. You don't have to worry about cost. It's free this week. Free. So do you think the Commonwealth still has relevance for small island states like Barbados? What do you think? 228-5562 or 228-5563, or post your comments in the comment sections on Facebook and YouTube. Andrea Jackman, good morning to you as well. Terrific today. She extends best to all of us. She wants us to be safe. You too, Angela, watching the UK. Andrea. Anthony Smith is coming in from New York, and he says, good morning, Barbados. We say good morning back to you, Anthony Smith. Pat Ben, my girl in the United States. Pat, good morning to you. She wishes the little crew a terrific today as well. Bako is also watching from Flatbush, and so he sends top of the morning from Flatbush, Brooklyn. He's wishing Bajans everywhere great today. Rhonda Hines Graham, sweet Rons, good morning to you as well. A terrific Tuesday morning to you as well. Love your greetings. Let us not lose our civility. Marcia Rock, good morning as well. She says a wonderful today to the kings and the queens watching on a terrific Tuesday. Have an awesome one yourself, Marcia. Terrific today to you as well. Play therapy with... Look at these names. Play therapy with Tammy. Is that something a service that you offer, Tammy? You want to send us an email so we can make contact with you? She says, good morning. My child and I started watching Mornin Barbados a year ago while they were in the UK. And they now live in Barbados. Hi, welcome home. Welcome home. And so they enjoy life here. Thank you, Tammy, for telling us about that. But is that a service you offer? Play therapy with Tammy. Tell us about it in that email. Remember, the email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Your thoughts, folks. Just before we get into our conversations on CARICOM, I really hope that you can call. I know a number of you are being shy because you don't want to feel embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed at all. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's your thought, and you're entitled to have a thought, and you're entitled to express that thought. We'll share with our viewers as well. So feel free to interrupt me at any time, and we will continue that look into the relevance of the Commonwealth. But let's turn our attention now to our conversations on CARICOM with Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishong. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, Pearson.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Yes.
You are somewhere all the time, but that's the nature of your job, what you do.
Yes.
And so where did you go?
Well, in the Caribbean, no better place than the Caribbean, in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. And I know that all of the folk in Antigua and Barbuda would answer that question with a resounding yes, that question about the Commonwealth and its relevance, because they are gearing up to host the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference in November.
Yes.
And just to give your question and answer, of course, the Commonwealth still has relevance. In fact, in this era, when multilateralism is under so much threat, we have to prize every multilateral space, protect it, and make the best use of it. And one of those multilateral spaces is the Commonwealth. And the chief disruptor of the world, fortunately, is not a part of the Commonwealth. So while they could disrupt the United Nations, for example, they can't disrupt the Commonwealth. So spaces like that, not just should we treasure them, but we need to make the best use of them. And that is precisely what Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of CARICOM propose to do with the conference in November.
So a lot to look forward to. But you were there. And I know while you were there, you were there to present your credentials. I want to get a sense of the process. As an ambassador, you present credentials, and why do you do that? So that people who are watching, the children who are watching, have a greater understanding of the civics surrounding that.
Well, it all starts with the government of Barbados making a decision that they would like to appoint a high commissioner to a particular country. In my case, it's a non-resident high commissioner, so I won't be living in Antigua. But once that decision is made, then the president of Barbados has to recommend one of his citizens to the head of state of the other country as a fit and proper person to represent Barbados in that country. So the president of Barbados puts together what we call letters of credence. And this is a letter addressed to his fellow head of state, basically saying, please accept this citizen of my country as a fit and proper person. So the process is that you would have that ceremony where I formally present the letters of credence to the head of state, and he accepts it.
And here you are presenting.
Yes, that is His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda. And those are the letters of credence in that hardcover folder. And so you do the presentation, but you also engage in conversation. You have an exchange of gifts. And you share with the head of state. The head of state always has some ideas he wants to leave with you. I would say that central to our discussion, and here I am presenting a piece of Barbados mahogany sculpture. That was one of my gifts to Sir Rodney. But he was very keen to...
I would say that. I was watching his countenance. He is keen on paying attention as well.
I also shared some of my publications with him. He's a man of history, because he was very keen to share with me the fact that he's leading some historical preservation efforts in Antigua. And he's also had some technical assistance from Barbados, from the Barbados Museum. And he was also very keen to discuss curriculum reform. And I was able to say to him, well, I am part of a committee of our Ministry of Education looking at curriculum reform. So we were very keen to discuss, for example, my book about Arnold and Mignon Ford, and the counterpart of Arnold Ford in Antigua, which would be Bishop George Maguire, who was very big in the Marcus Garvey movement as well. So a delightful interaction. And I really look forward to keeping in contact with Sir Rodney. But then, having done the ceremony with the head of state, then it's on to a number of courtesy calls. So in the case of Antigua and Barbuda, I had courtesy calls with Prime Minister Gaston Brown, Foreign Minister Chet Green. Yes, so maybe we can focus on them first before there were other calls as well.
And as you were speaking, we were just sharing with people those moments. So in those moments with Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and their Minister of Foreign Affairs,
yes.
Immigration and Trade, Chet Green, what happens?
Well, we discuss potential areas of collaboration between the countries, but we also had an opportunity to discuss geopolitical matters. In the case of Antigua, we definitely discussed the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference and how we in CARICOM need to make use of it. And Prime Minister Brown is very, very keen to ensure that CARICOM fully sees it as a CARICOM conference, not just Antigua and Barbuda hosting, CARICOM hosting, and all our countries be fully engaged. But I had some very interesting discussions with Prime Minister Brown. We looked at possible areas of cooperation in tourism, for example, and we looked at the concept of sustainable tourism, sustainable hotels, sustainable restaurants, and what that means, and how perhaps Barbados and Antigua could work together on that idea, developing sustainability. Aviation cooperation, Antigua has refloated LIAT, but I know that Prime Minister Brown wants to even expand what they're doing now, and maybe there could be a role for Barbados in that. But very importantly, both Barbados and Antigua are actively working on establishing that direct flight with Africa. So why not work together? Why not collaborate? Because that direct flight, it's not an easy thing to do. And if we could collaborate on it, perhaps we could pull it off together. Cricket, we looked at cricket. I was making the point to PM Brown that if you look back on the glory days of West Indies cricket, the 1970s and 80s, you would see that the two cornerstones were Barbados and Antigua.
That's right.
Barbados, Gordon Greenidge, Desmond Haynes, the middle order, Antigua's Richards and Richardson, and then the bowling attack, Roberts, Marshall, Garner, Ambrose, the two Benjamins from Antigua, Wayne Daniels, Sylvester Clarke from Barbados. But I made the point that even beyond the players, Tony Cozier, Sir Hilary Beckles, and the case of Antigua, people like Tim Hector, King Franchi in the commentary booth, and even the photographers, like Gordon Brooks in Barbados, in Antigua, Colin Cumberbatch. So these two countries really played a very big role during that glory period. But I think it is fair to say that our cricket culture has slipped a bit in both cases. And maybe, this is something that I'll engage the sporting authorities here in Barbados. Maybe there's some scope for the two countries to collaborate, work together in building back that culture. And of course, youth and education exchanges. Barbados, we have the Cayville campus. Antigua, they have the Five Islands campus. I'm always interested in our young people. I'm always interested in the culture of reading, our history, our heritage.
Because you visited a couple of schools and a public library as well.
Yes, that has become a hallmark of my visits. Schools, oh yes, that's the Antigua Girls High School. And I'm making a presentation to them, and One of the books that I presented was I Am CARICOM, Kofi Moves Freely, and that's the new publication we did. We have to come and present on Morning Barbados, but it's teaching about Caribbean integration and the movement of people. And I was delighted to discover that the principal of that school is a Bajan.
Really?
Yes, Miss Rosalind Biza, and just shows that, you know, Caribbean integration is working. And this is at the public library, the National Public Library of Antigua and Barbuda. And
they have a lovely West Indian collection there as well.
Yes, that's where we did the presentation, and that's Miss LaShawn Hunt, very Barbadian name. And I made the presentation to her of I Am CARICOM, but also of a whole collection of my own publications. I'm always keen to leave a bit of me with whoever I meet on these visits. And so very, very pleasing.
And part of it too was you had an opportunity to visit the monument to Sir Vivian Richards. Vivian Richards, the one and only, the legend.
Oh, yes. Well, we could not resist that. You know, Viv lived right in the heart of St. John's, not too far from the Antigua Recreation Ground, the famous cricket ground. So just like with Barbados with Rihanna, there's this monument by the home, his childhood home. And yes, we stopped the vehicle. We told the driver, stop. And that's Foreign Service Officer Cody Ramsey Rollins. And we took a pose with my best forward defensive shot.
You did well. But he's a national hero of Antigua and Barbuda, indeed, and so a phenomenal West Indian too. And so we wanted to share a little bit more with our folks about your journey in Antigua and some of the other things you discovered, because there's some interesting linkages between ourselves and Antigua and Barbuda. That we'll talk about right after this break.
Wake up, wake up. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're having our conversations on CARICOM now with Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Commichon, who is just back from a recent visit to Antigua and Barbuda, and what a visit it has truly been, because in that visit we get to learn a little bit more about ourselves and our connections. So talk to me a little bit, Ambassador, about what you discovered and how it connects to Barbados.
Well, I tell you what I discovered. I discovered that there's great similarity between Antigua and Barbuda and Barbados, and particularly similarity in our historical journeys. And to prove that, you know, this was not my imagination. When I came back, I went to my history books, and this is Testing the Chains by Michael Creighton, Resistance to Slavery. And this is what Creighton says, you know, Chapter 10, Antigua echoes Barbados. I just read a little bit. The Barbadian pattern of slave resistance was uncannily replicated in Antigua, with a delay in each phase of some 30 to 40 years. Much the same convenient size as Barbados, It's just about the same size, the two islands. And with far better harbors, Antigua was almost as ideal for developing sugar plantations. Even flatter and almost as fertile, it too enjoyed a reliable trade wind for driving the windmills necessary in a streamless island. Agriculturally, it was inferior only in being more subject to drought. At its peak, Antigua held 2/3 as many slaves as Barbados and produced more than half as much sugar. So almost like a smaller version of Barbados. And you know, when you look at the history, just as the historian says, you know, even who established the sugar industry in Antigua? Christopher Codrington. Christopher Codrington actually left Barbados in 1674 and established large-scale sugar cultivation in Antigua. And then took over, basically the Codrington family took over the island of Barbuda to grow food products for their slave labor force on Antigua. And then, so that's 1674. 1675, there was the first major slave conspiracy in Barbados, centered around King Cuffy, you know, the whole Speightstown.
Yes.
Colin Jordan now commemorates it in Speightstown. The conspiracy that these Coromantee slaves from what is now Ghana had intended to rise up to take over the island and to make Cuffy, who was a Coromantee, to make him king of Barbados. And it was discovered, and this is the slave rebellion that features Tony, who said, if you roast me today, you can't roast me tomorrow. Very heroic. But it shocked me to learn that in 1735, almost the identical Coromantee slaves from Ghana, similarly, a Coromantee born on the African continent, known as Prince Class or King Court or Taki, he had 3 names, and he was to be the Cuffy of Antigua. So the Coromantees, just like in Barbados, had planned this conspiracy to take over the island and to elevate one of their own to the king, to the kingdom. So very, very similar. It's almost as if Antigua is just following behind Barbados some 50 or 60 years later. And then I went back, I reminded myself, you know, one of the ways in which Barbados was really exploited and a lot of the economic juice was squeezed out by the British colonialists was through this 4.5% tax. The British imposed a tax of 4.5% on everything produced and shipped from Barbados. And that tax was in place for 175 years, from 1662 to 1838. But it was also imposed on Antigua. So when we look at how these two territories were exploited, through the tax, through enslavement, we look at the role of the Codrington family. And incidentally, the Codrington family had married into the Drax family in Barbados. So Antigua and Barbuda and Barbados were two centers of the whole slavery system in the Caribbean. We were 2 highly exploited territories, and hence it is important that we be in the forefront of that reparations movement, that reparations campaign. And we're going to use that Commonwealth Conference. One of the things we're going to do with that Commonwealth Conference in November in Antigua is to advance that reparations conversation with the British. So very uncannily similar, not only in geography, but also in terms of our history.
And further cements the reason why CARICOM itself is still so strong, simply because there are so many similarities between ourselves and a greater appreciation for what we need to do collectively to be able to get out of situations that we sometimes find ourselves in.
Yes, we are a Caribbean civilization. And that's why our treaty, our revised Treaty of CARICOM makes it clear We need to come to common positions. We need to be unified because the treaty tells us this is how we are going to be strong in relation to the outside world, in relation to outside entities. And you know, while I was in Antigua, I had the pleasure of having a courtesy call with Venezuela's ambassador to Antigua and Barbuda, Her Excellency Carmen Velasquez de Visbal. And I mention that because even though we focus on CARICOM, but there's a wider Caribbean civilization that embraces not just the CARICOM countries, but our neighbors, Venezuela, Cuba, for example. And we know some of the challenges that Venezuela is currently undergoing. We know some of the challenges that Cuba is currently undergoing. So the ambassador is actually the dean of the diplomatic corps in Antigua. She's a very senior diplomat. And so I embraced the opportunity to have a sit down with her and to discuss what Venezuela is going through and maybe how we can be of some assistance.
Speaking of assistance, you mentioned Cuba as well. I know you did say to us last time we met that there is an initiative that CARICOM will be mounting in support of the people of Cuba. Any details yet to share?
Well, the only detail that has emerged thus far is that Mexico is going to be facilitating whatever humanitarian supplies CARICOM puts together to send to our brothers and sisters in Cuba. You're very you're very prescient, Pearson, because I was thinking about that as I came here this morning. In fact, the Barbadian civil society organizations that have been in this drive to put together supplies to send to Cuba, they are now trying to work out how best to get the supplies to Cuba. I really hope that CARICOM moves quickly because I think that our people need to be facilitated. But it's not easy to ship supplies to Cuba now. And I think we really need our governments and the CARICOM Secretariat to be fully on board and to facilitate our people, because I think this should not just be an initiative of our governments. It should be a people's initiative as well. It should be an expression of our wholesome solidarity and support with our brothers and sisters in Cuba. And we promised at the Heads of Government Conference in St. Kitts that it will be done within the space of less than a month. So we really need to get cracking on it. But that's as much as I can share now, that Mexico will be facilitating, but exactly what the logistics will be, I would hope that before the end of this week, there'll be some public word from CARICOM.
And we can't wait to hear, because we know how magnanimous the peoples of the Caribbean are. And in support of our brothers and sisters in Cuba, we will stand up. And so we will wait to hear those details coming out of CARICOM as to how we as individuals can help individuals in Cuba restore dignity, but also to be fed. Just access to what we take for granted as basics, they have a great need for. And so that opportunity will come, and as it is offered to all of you, we hope that you really dig deep within and give generously as well. So listen up for more of that on our conversations on CARICOM. Ambassador, we have to leave it there, but I thank you as always. As always, I love to sit in this session simply because I learn so much. And I know that many of our viewers feel the same way as well, that they sit and they listen, because I hear it then translated to the call-in programs. Oddly enough, they begin to echo the conversation later on the call-in programs. Marcia Roth says, I love the history lessons we get on Mornin Barbados. Didn't know the connection between Barbados and Antigua. And so you see, Pat Ben is also saying, you go, Ambassador Commichon, give us a history lesson this morning of Barbados and Antigua. People love the session. And long may it go on forever.
Yeah, and and I think our Foreign Minister, Minister Sinclair, would have made the point very recently that CARICOM is really the core, the foundation of our foreign policy. And that makes so much sense, We have something very valuable here in the Caribbean with our neighbors. We need to solidify it, and that must be the foundation upon which we stand and face the rest of the world. So I love being Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM. I would not want any other assignment. To me, this is the number one foreign policy assignment, building our Caribbean civilization.
And we thank you for your journey thus far. That's it for today's CARICOM, Conversations on CARICOM. Next week, Tuesday, if it be the will of the Lord, we'll have another conversation on CARICOM. Morning Barbados breaks here. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From 7 o'clock this morning, as we continue this week looking into the University of the West Indies. Many times, many of us drive on by and we didn't turn left or turn right into, and we hear so many things happening. And we will hear and give you more of what's happening this morning, but we want you to come to the University of the West Indies. We want you to think about what's possible through education at the University of the West Indies. We want you this week to pay attention enough to contemplate whether it's for you, your child, or for you again. We'll talk a little bit now about what's happening in the Department of Economics and also what's happening at the Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center, as I'm joined by the Assistant Lecturer in Economics at the UW KFI campus, Mr. Gavin Bovell. Good morning, Gavin.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
We'll talk a little bit about what you do. And Alicia Nichols, who's a Junior Research Fellow in the Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center. Good morning, Alicia, as well.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, beautiful Barbados.
Oh, I love the way you said that. Barbados welcomes you here too. Gavin, as a lecturer in economics, oftentimes we sit and we think, that's for certain kinds of people. They deal with certain kinds of things. We will wait to hear what they have to predict, and we leave it there. But talk to me about what is economics and why economics is so central to everything that we do, life.
We make decisions every single day, Pearson. Economics essentially is the science of decision making. When people hear economics, they're usually sort of pushed into this place of, oh, it's about GDP and managing our fiscal budgets and those sort of macro, grandiose issues. And while those are still very, very important, economics at its fundamental allows us as individuals to be able to maximize the resources that we have available. And as you know, with what's happening today, resources are under strain. So economics as a science, as an art, allows us to be able to take a look at what we have and allocate those resources to the things that we need to get done. And I often say sometimes the best economists are those that are managing households, right? And you can see this being a sort of a life skill necessary for day-to-day living in today's economy and in the economies of the yesteryear, but more importantly in the future, where we are anticipating more strain on the availability of resources from increases in fuel prices, with knock-on effects from these geopolitical issues that are happening. Those issues, while happening thousands of miles away, impact the decision we make in the aisles of the supermarket. So economics, in a nutshell, allows us as individuals to make better decisions for our own well-being.
Basically, economics is everything we do.
Everything.
You talked about resources.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves, where will I get these resources from to be able to do the things I want to do?
Yeah.
So whether it's through the job, through additional employment, through different little things they do around the house, that's all economics as well. Mommy and daddy watching, that's
Correct.
also economics.
Yes.
And then how do we take what we do have and make it stretch, or
Correct.
make it do the things we want to be able to do? And then how do we put some aside as well, so that
Correct.
we're able in the future to do even more of what we want to do, bearing in mind all of what life is throwing at us at the same time.
Correct.
So today we start with $100. We
Correct.
go to the supermarket, we knew that today we could buy A, B, C. Tomorrow that $100 could only buy A and B.
Exactly.
So then we ask ourselves, what happened? And we realize, oh my goodness, there's a problem with oil, there's a problem with movement of goods, the interest rate went up, all of those kinds of things impact. And without even realizing it, we are economists in ourselves.
We all are, whether we want to admit it or not, because as we all have to make decisions every single day. And when we look at the impact of those decisions on our bottom line, I sometimes jest, but I have this ongoing conversation with my 7-year-old daughter, where she has a $10 budget. And she knows when she goes into the supermarket if her budget is going to make it or break it. And I think, at a very micro level, that's what we need to be able to do as individuals and as a society, to be able to continue to thrive, to continue to live, taking what we need to survive today, but also, as you said, putting something aside so that we ensure that those in the future have something, so that they can also enjoy a certain quality of life.
If it's as basic as that, and we hear the conversations on our call-in programs, we know that people have a passion for how the country works. And the country needs economists. Businesses need economists. Every endeavor needs someone to have that mindset.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how in the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies, you are able to help me to put all of that. I know what I need, but I don't know how to do it. So how does it work?
Well, I'll go back to the beginning. In 1972, on the 1st of August, and that date is very important, the Department of Economics was launched. It's one of the oldest in the department. And at that time, we were coming off of the gold standard, right? And we offered 9 courses at that point in time, which was reflective of the time and the change that was happening at that point. Where we are now today, we've evolved. Our course offerings have evolved to accommodate and to address the challenges that we're experiencing today. Within the faculty and within the department, we focus on trade, we focus on finance, we focus on banking, logistics, supply chain management. All of these areas are necessary for developing what the faculty refers to as graduates that have the ability to bring to the market a creative analytical ability while still having an entrepreneurial mindset. Because as you know, the challenges that corporate world and society is facing today are increasing in complexity. So the way that we address it, we have to have the analytical skills, and we develop that in the department with our ability to model not just static textbook types of situations, but real world situations that are happening. What's going to be the impact if this war in Iran lasts for another 30 days? We're already on day 11. We want to be able to model that so that we can make proper and advise businesses on how they should proceed. And those are things that the department is doing. One of the things that the department is doing that's a bit more innovative is we've introduced a new degree. In the past, we would have had finance sort of like a add-on, management and finance, banking and finance, economics and finance. But the department saw it fit, after consulting with private sector and the key stakeholders, that finance needs to be a degree on its own. So the BSc degree in finance has been introduced, and very interesting about this degree is that the accreditation that comes with it is world class. It's actually based on level 1 of the CFA program, which gives the students a robust entry into the finance market, and it allows them to function at an international level from what we're offering here at the university. So we're not just preparing students for the Caribbean environment, we're preparing them to operate at an international environment. And UE has always been pushing that. We want to create regional professionals with an international context that allows us to be able to add value in that way.
That value is relevant to today and every environment, because based upon what you've just said to me, everything is tailored to what the community needs.
Correct.
Now, based upon your interaction with businesses and other spaces, but you're also projecting beyond the now.
Correct.
Looking at what is potential to happen and tailoring your courses to be able to prepare our citizens today for tomorrow at the same time. And so, students, to access these courses, is it really, really easy?
You can actually, what's happening this week, you can find registration information available online at UB's website, but we have an open day tomorrow.
Tomorrow, big day.
Right? From 10 to 3 in the afternoon. So we'll be there, the department will be there, the faculty will be there. We're welcoming anyone, new students, young and old, because education and upgrading our skills is not only for those in the teenage years. Retooling allows those professionals that have had years of experience to refocus their careers and to retool as we go forward into this era of, sort of overwhelming complexity. So that's where the department really wants, that the faculty really wants to add value.
Don't be afraid of the term overwhelming complexity. Don't get scared of it, because the University of the West Indies has courses that will be able to help you understand the complexity and create the mindset so they're able to navigate those complexities and create ideas and different initiatives that can help us through that complexity as well. But you need to go tomorrow to that big open fair. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning on the lawn of the Guild lawns. Come in, you turn right over there. That's where the big tents and everything is happening. And it's a big science fair in social sciences and the Department of Creative Art and Performing Arts as well. So it's big tomorrow. But there's a lot more happening on campus as well. And we'll take a break. When we come back, we hear what's happening at the Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center. That's where our good friend Alicia is. Back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, Email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 8 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock as we continue delving through the social sciences faculty at the University of the West Indies, a part of which is the Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center. And Alicia Nichols is one of the junior research fellows there. Alicia, good morning to you again.
Good morning, Pearson.
What is this Sir Sridhar Ramphal Center designed to do?
Sure. So the Sridhar Ramphal Center, as we affectionately call the SRC, is the Caribbean's leading trade policy, training, research, and outreach institution. So most people will know us for our Masters in International Trade Policy program, which I know we'll get to shortly. But we also do other outreach activities. We have webinars, we have policy briefs, we have short courses, so we do a lot. The name Sir Sridhar Ramphal would not be a stranger to most Barbadians. It's named after the well-known Guyanese statesman, the late Sir Sridhar Sonny Ramphal. So the center carries the weight of that name, and we try as much as possible, despite the fact we only have 8 staff members, we do a lot to live up to that legacy.
He was a CARICOM, and yes, he also had the General Secretary of CARICOM, Secretary General. And so he was a Caribbean man. He understood the value of CARICOM, but he also thought that as people of the CARICOM, we needed to get stronger in research and study so we understand what we're doing, so we can now leverage with the rest of the world. You talked about the master's program. So for the person who comes into the center, they must first come with a first degree?
Yes, well, that would be the preferred option because as we could appreciate, a master's program is a different type of beast from a bachelor's degree. The good thing about the MITP is that it's a very interdisciplinary program. So regardless of whether your background is in economics, as my friend Gavin is, political science or law, international relations, regardless, there will be an aspect of the trade policy program that fits you. It's an 18-month-long program. Most of it deals with the theory of trade, but then you also have the practical component. So I am also a product of the program, so I'm speaking about the program here both as someone who's an alumna of the program, also someone who teaches in the program, and someone who works at the SRC. So the program gives you that opportunity to learn about the rudiments of international trade. You learn about what are some of the rules governing international trade at the multilateral level, at the regional level. You get a chance to go to Geneva, where some of your audience might not be aware, but that's really the heart of trade policy making at the multilateral level. That's where the World Trade Organization is located. You get to visit not just the WTO, but also different Geneva-based institutions that touch on concern trade and development. And then in addition to that, we also have a 3-month internship program. So not only do you get the theory, you're also getting the chance to work for 3 months in an organization, be it CARICOM or wherever, where you would get to apply some of what you would have learned.
So who are you looking for?
We are looking for anyone who has an interest in making a difference to this region. So whether you are someone who has just finished a bachelor's degree and you are interested in trade policy, you're interested in what are these rules that are so important for our small open economies, whether you're somebody who is working in an international firm or a local firm who just wants to upskill, whether you're a lawyer or an accountant or some other professional who wants to change careers and you find this thing called international trade exciting, this master's program is for you. I could sell MITP any day.
I'm sold. I'm here thinking, and you saw the smile on my face.
Yes.
I am sold. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers as listeners as well, they are equally sold by what you shared with us because you walked the walk.
Yes.
You walked the walk and you're still in that walk with us.
Yes.
And so are these courses done in person and in class room settings? How is it set up?
So it used to be done in person, certainly when I did it, and I wouldn't tell the audience how long ago I did it because it has been a while. But now we are offering it online. So regardless of where you are in the world, you can come and do the MITP program. And in fact, Pearson, over 200 persons worldwide have done this program. Our alum is 200 people strong, not just across the Caribbean and Barbados, but also we have an alum in the US. We have alum in Africa. In my cohort, we had a student from, well, formerly Swaziland, now Eswatini. So it's a program that has alum regardless of where you go in the world.
Well done. And so Gavin, but in the Department of Economics, is it a full-time or can it be full-time, part-time, what?
It can be full-time or part-time, and much like what the center is doing, our programs at the graduate level are offered in hybrid. Some of them are face-to-face, while others are fully online. My program that I coordinate in particular, which is logistics and supply chain management, is offered virtually. So we have students as far as Belize, Africa. We've even had some applicants from Australia. So we're essentially a global program, and we definitely look forward to engaging and delivering value in that way. The undergraduate programs are offered mostly face-to-face, and those are the same traditional programs. The BSc programs are offered face-to-face, but as we move into the graduate level where persons are working, we want to be able to offer that flexibility so that persons can still upgrade themselves, but at the same time do it in a way that is convenient for their schedules.
This is good. This is really good work today that you guys are sharing indeed. A lot of places and spaces we're hearing a lot more the word procurement. And a lot of this that we've just talked about applies to you. Indeed, and so don't sit there and assume that you are not required to do so. This is another way, another opportunity given to you. So tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, if you're still in search of more questions to be answered and you want all the details, show up at the UWI campus from 10 to 3. It's on the grounds, the Guild grounds. Grounds is interactive, it's very fun, and you get to hear from these folks here who are in those areas as well, who can answer all of your questions. If you're at secondary school or any of the tertiary registrations colleges, whether it's SJPI or BCC, show up. Show up tomorrow. This could very well spark an opportunity for you that you had not yet thought of. Gavin, thank you so much. Gavin Bovell, Assistant Lecturer in the Department of Economics at the UWI, and Alicia Nichols, Junior Research Fellow at the Sridhar Ramphal Center. Thank you, both of you. I hope to see you all tomorrow if I can be at the time. I really would love to see you guys.
We would love to have you.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you too.
It's going to be big, and I just love it indeed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll take a break here, and we're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. 2 men died and 2 others were injured in 3 separate incidents of violence in St. Michael communities yesterday. Police are investigating a stabbing that resulted in an 88-year-old man's death, another man losing his life by bullet, and a shooting that left 2 men hospitalized. Communications and Public Affairs Officer, Acting Inspector Ryan Brathwaite, says the elderly man, Ralph Ford, of Bridge Gap, Blackrock, died in the wee hours of yesterday morning.
Preliminary investigations have shown that there was a dispute between a male and a female, and this resulted in the male receiving stab wounds to his body. He succumbed to those injuries at the scene.
Well, in the second incident, a man was fatally shot at Hillview Close at Cafil. The acting inspector says Operations Control received that call roughly 8 hours after the stabbing.
Preliminary investigations have shown that a male was sitting on a bucket outside a residence at Hillview Close when 2 armed occupants of a brown motor car disembarked, discharged a number of shots, injuring that male in the process. He was transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in a private motor car. He later succumbed to injuries at the hospital. Investigations are continuing into this matter. We're appealing to anyone who may have any information that may assist us with this investigation.
And while investigating those 2 incidents, the police were in the evening called out yet again, this time to Deacon's Farm. Acting Inspector Brathwaite said initial investigations showed that 2 men rode through the area on a motorcycle and discharged several gunshots, injuring 2 men, one in Farm Road, the other at Deacon's Road. Both were taken to hospital by private vehicles and are seeking medical attention. Member of Parliament Neil Rowe, who represents St. Michael Northwest, was among those at the scene. The police investigations are continuing. The short-staffed Labour Department is facing a challenge responding to an influx of complaints from workers, but the Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, is promising relief. It was Acting Chief Labour Officer Alison Alcock who raised the issue on discussion of the estimates on revenue of expenditure as they resumed in Parliament yesterday. She said that between April and December of 2025, the Labour Department received 1,511 complaints. In January of this year, there were 147 complaints, 168 in February, and just last week alone, there were 49. Ms. Alcott says all of those complaints are only from people who walked into the department.
Every month, officers are dealing with a couple dozen new complaints. Let me make that clear. New complaints. Every complaint has to be investigated. A person comes in, a worker comes in, an employee comes in, they make a complaint. We have to investigate it to hear and to get the fullness of the situation. And there can be delays with those investigations for good reason. So officers are balancing the complaint, the investigation, the conciliation meetings, and still trying to get out there to do the inspections I just mentioned to ensure that there is compliance with the legislation. So it is difficult.
In response, Minister of Labour Colin Jordan said plans are in motion to address this staff shortage. He said approval has been given for additional posts to be created at the Labour Department, and that process is being expedited. Vacancies have been advertised, interviews were conducted.
Before that authorization was given, there was a bottleneck at the level of the Ministry of the Public Service. And so we've been able to move forward more speedily in terms of our resourcing. Now, we are not yet where we are supposed to be. There is still some additional sign-off to happen at the level of the Minister of the Public Service, but the new Minister of the Public Service has assured me that she will be addressing the matter as a matter of urgency. So I have no doubt that we will be able to move forward where that is concerned.
The Minister of Finance, Ryan Strawn, is set to deliver the budget on Monday, and Barbadians are already sharing what they want to see in the proposals. At the top of the list, relief from the high cost of living. When CBC videographer Christopher Wood visited the city yesterday, several people pointed to high food prices and financial pressure on pensioners as concerns that they would like to see addressed.
I would like to see other things for people get a little help in this country. Since it's new, the government backing, I would love to see things operate on the right level, because things in these expensive Barbados is really too expensive. Shop, going to the supermarket, you can't earn out, you don't know. You can't with one little bag. So I would like to see things happen for the poor people.
More money, food prices drop. Because right nowadays when you go into the market, you're going there with $100 or $200, you come with 2 bags, sometimes one, and you know part of the money gone. That's it.
I would like to have more money because everything would be going sky high. It's going to be skyrocketing, so I think they should give a little more money.
I would like to have some more money for pension money because this money cannot buy food properly. Then you go in the supermarket with little money, you ain't got no money, nothing more. You can't even buy everything that you really want. So I would really like she to put on a little money, lay something for the pension.
I would like to see poor people get more money in the pocket, especially people that don't get no pension. And those who have paid in money, but they have not paid in enough money, give them a break. Give them a little something that they can feel happy with.
Whatever they put in the budget, it's good for me.
Meanwhile, Managing Director of Woolworth, Martin Bryan, told CBC News the revitalization of the capital should be a priority as well. He says while the Pierhead development is an important long-term project, completion is about 3 years away. Mr. Bryan wants to hear about short-term plans to bring more people back into Bridgetown and restore activity in the capital.
There's a revitalization committee, but there are many things that can be done. So I would like to see, that's primarily what I would like to see, because we have businesses that are leaving Bridgetown. There's some places that shutter up, etc. So let's see some incentives put in place to A, bring back business back into town, B, beautify Bridgetown, make it the place it should be, so that people can, feel a reason to come into town other than, what it currently is. So there's some incentivization of current business owners or property owners to make the place somewhere that people will say, hey man, let's go into town and see what it is on offer. That would be the main thing we look for.
Students from the Milton Lynch Primary School marked International Women's Day, celebrated on Sunday, with a special presentation to Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley yesterday. The excited group gathered at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre to give the country's leader a bouquet of handmade flowers. The students of the island's only all-boys primary school spent the week crafting the gift. Milton Lynch Primary Early Childhood Coordinator Miranda Fergus says the exercise was built around giving students an authentic learning experience tied to a real-world event. She said the activity helped the students use their fine motor skills and included a language component, with students sharing messages that were written and included in the bouquet.
We recognized that International Women's Day was
this weekend at Pass, and we are fortunate enough to have a female leader. So when I discussed with the boys what we can do, and they said they wanted to buy a gift, and then we discussed what we can make flowers. So we went through the process of making the flowers. So they colored paper, they rolled, they used their fine motor skills to make the flowers, and then they just put on some finishing touches. Another part of language experience is for students to be able to share their information, and then the adult dictates it. So that's what happened. One boy who is a big fan of the Prime Minister said she is the best Prime Minister in the world. So those are some of the messages that are on the pop.
Well, Prime Minister Motley warmly received the students and she thanked them for their thoughtfulness. She said it meant a great deal to see young students thinking about how they could show appreciation for women and for leadership. Well, that's a look at news. Until now, we'll have more news coming up on TV at 12 noon. Morning Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 minutes now after the hour of 7 o'clock as we continue now in turning the pages of what I think is a great gift. And if you're thinking of gifts, it's not just the chocolates and the bunny rabbit and all of those kinds of things. There's so many other ways that we can give and give meaningfully that leave legacy, because legacy is not what you leave behind, but who you leave behind, but who you leave behind. Note the emphasis on the who in this instance. And so a book is written called Great Gifts to Give Your Children. It's by Linda Jones. Dr. Linda Jones joins me now. Dr. Jones, good morning to you. This is such a thoughtful book.
Thank you.
I think. Tell me why you thought you needed to write this book.
Actually, this book started 20 years ago, believe it or not. And it came as I was watching the CBC News, truly. And what happened was they were reporting of a young man stabbing another young man over a cell phone on the bus going home. And I was just horrified. Now, that is not big news now because it happens all the time. But 20 years ago, I thought, what values are we giving our children as parents that a boy can think he can just stab another one for a cell phone? And I thought, we need to be teaching our children about what really matters. And I started to scribble down these gifts that we need to give our children. And so it evolved with 30 gifts, and I printed it, and it was a little booklet. I kept it and did nothing with it for 20 years later. Yes. And so I expanded because as I watched the news more and more, and global, national, regional, local, we see what's happening. I was just listening to the news as you shared the news about the stabbings and the killings, and that seemed to be the norm. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking we need to go back to the foundation of the home, because that's where it begins.
Teaching. Because it's in teaching that we can impart knowledge.
That's right.
But sometimes we ourselves don't even know how to teach.
That's right.
We don't even have ourselves the values that we need to impart.
That's right.
So how I think this book helps to fix that.
At some point, yes.
At some point, I think it helps to fix. Yeah. Because for the poor parent who keep hearing everyone say, it's in the family, it's the parents, and they're saying, but I'm doing my best.
Right.
Or I don't know what else to
do. Right.
This book helps to respond to that emotion, indeed. Mm-hmm. And so there are 30 examples of
50.
Different... How many?
It's 50 now in the book.
15. From 30, 50.
50, yes.
Oh, they're even more. Even more.
Yes.
A month and a half. You have of
Yes.
experiences, of nuggets that you can give to your child. And so as we browse the book, we're experiencing through your experience. Tell me a little bit about who you are and what really, apart from that news clip, guided you. What is within you to write in this kind of way?
You know, they say parenting is the only job on earth that you have no training for.
Yes.
And having come from a home where I experienced all the wrong ways to parent, I realized that I couldn't pass what I experienced on to my child. You know, the words, the languages, the kind of things that were said to me. And I thought, besides seeing what I said on the news, I thought we need to have something we can give parents that they can, a tool they can put in the toolbox so that they can learn how to be parents, because some of them weren't even parented themselves like I was, and I wasn't parented in the most positive way at all. So I felt I did not want to pass this legacy on to my child. And so with that, with the help of God, I just pursued this topic and kept on expanding and expanding. 50 is by no means, exhaustive of the list.
Yeah.
But so that was my motivation. So to encourage parents, to give them a tool, to challenge them, because some of the gifts are challenging. Challenge them, encourage them, and affirm them. And those who are doing it right, it's affirming them as well. It's not like this is corrective and you need to do this, but it's also affirming what they are doing and to help them, give them handles so that they can, it's like a blueprint type of thing, you know?
It is indeed. As I keep saying and I said to you before we started this, I trust my hands. My spirit always leads me to a chapter that I think is so inspirational. And I turned immediately on, just flipping the book open to page 59, and it's chapter 20.
Okay.
Chapter 20, the gift number 20. Gift number 20 speaks to the gift of guidance and wisdom. And it references from the Bible, Proverbs 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you are getting, and get understanding, exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. Wisdom, broadly speaking, I think part of it is your moral compass.
Yes, that's right.
Wisdom is found in so many different ways, but true wisdom comes from God.
That's right. That's
true
right.
wisdom comes from God.
So he's the embodiment of wisdom as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so, parent, mommy, daddy, uncle, aunt, godparent, I'm a godparent, so I know what I'm talking about, is we have to seek wisdom. Life is tossing us so many challenges as it comes, and so we scratch, we see examples that are bad, and we're wondering all the while, what then do I do? Seek wisdom.
That's right.
Get on your knees if you have to get on your knees, sit in your bed if you have to sit on your bed, drive your car and talk to God.
That's right. He will give wisdom. He said he will give it liberally. He will not say, well, you stupid thing. He will give you wisdom liberally if you ask. If you lack wisdom, ask and he will give it.
Because you go on to say in the chapter that Longfellow wrote, a single conversation across the table with a wise man is better than 10 years mere study of books.
That's right.
And that's so true.
That's right.
And that's why parents need to have wisdom, so they can impart the wisdom. Parents, you have a strong, heavy responsibility to know yourself.
That's right.
Before you can impart the knowledge.
That's right.
For you, what's your most interesting gift
in this book? Oh my goodness. I was sharing with someone just earlier, and this might sound a little controversial, but one of the most interesting gifts for me is the gift of apology. And I will explain that. We need to teach our children to apologize when they do wrong, but we need to learn how to apologize to them because we have done wrong. We haven't done it all right all the time. And I remember having to do that to my daughter, saying, Mommy, one day I said something to her and I used the word stupid in the sentence. No, all she heard was stupid, right? So she felt I was calling her stupid. And she goes, Mommy, don't call me stupid. I'm not stupid, because I've trained her. And I said, sorry, I did not mean to call you stupid. What you did was stupid, but you are not stupid. And so an apology goes a long way because it brings the child to realize that you're not perfect, and people think, well, parents, especially West Indian, we apologize to my child. I'm not going to do that. But you would be amazed how that would soothe and heal them for an apology. And I never heard one from my parents, even though many times they did things that were wrong, treated me badly in ways that they shouldn't have. But an apology is one of my favorite gifts as well.
You're quite right. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with a colleague, and we were talking about reviews. And I said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we begin to implement what is a known method of review, which is a 360 method. I review you, you review me. I am no more superior to you than you are to me. The example you just gave of mother, the authority figure, and child shows that how beneficial it is.
That's right.
When we can hear it reflect to us, just what am I doing wrong?
Yes, yeah.
And then in recognizing that the person that we thought we were trying to help, recognize that we had done them wrong.
That's right.
Be big enough.
Be big enough
to say, I'm sorry.
And it's very
I'm
healing.
So sorry.
It is very healing,
and
honestly.
it opens up that opportunity for growth.
That's right, exactly. And if you would ask me another one, is about conflict resolution. We are not teaching our children how to resolve conflict, because the first thing they do is get a gun. They shoot you, they stab you. They don't see conflict resolution in the family. So they see father and mother fighting each other, cussing and carrying on. So that's the only way they know how to resolve conflict. And so that is a gift that we need to give them as well.
And the gift of forgiveness.
And the gift of forgiveness.
We tend to think,
goodness.
I can forgive you, but I will not forget.
Really? Yeah.
That's what we do. We bandy around these phrases, but we live by them too.
That's right.
And so if we can just begin to practice what is true forgiveness, look at the mercy of God.
To us. Yeah.
That he gave his only begotten son because he didn't intend to condemn this world.
That's
and he could have.
Exactly.
That we can all be brought back to him.
Right.
He forgave us even before we asked.
You sound like you wrote this book.
Listen to me. I tell you, when I turned the page, I thought, I could do this. I can do this.
Yeah, it's
wonderful. And so I want parents to see that we can all do this. The book is simply written. It is easy to read.
It is easy.
It is, however, not a fairy tale, because we love these wonderful little stories because, we feel good at the end of it. Oh,
that's right.
Boy meets girl, they got happily ever after. But this is an instructional.
It is instructional.
And so I want you, when you get a copy yourself, folks, of those great gifts to give your children, you're you're leaving behind your legacy in who they are. You are building the continuation of the good gifts given to you.
For society and generations to come.
Precisely, you're giving that gift to society for generations to come. And so this book is available how? How can we get it?
They can get it on Amazon, paperback and Kindle. It's locally CLC and Things Gospel, and I'm hoping to get it into Cloisters. I haven't been able to reach them yet, but that's where it's going to be, and they can get it from me directly.
Of course.
Yes.
And how can they get it from you directly? We don't know where you live.
You want me to give my information?
Do you want to share?
Oh, sure. They can call me at 234-9123.
234-9123. 234-9123. And when you call that number, I'm sure that Dr. Linda Jones will talk to you as well. 234-9123. If she has the time, she'll have a brief conversation with you to help inspire you. Because oftentimes the people who pick up this book are probably really in desperate need of someone hearing them, someone understanding what they're going through, and to be able to say to them, you also have gifts.
That's
you
right.
already
Also
have gifts given to you.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to identify them and see how they work. And don't think that there is a plaster for everything.
That's right. It isn't. That's right. But it does help. And we have a saying that it takes a village to raise. And with the uncles and aunties and godmothers and someone might say, but I'm not a parent, but you influence a child.
Yes, you do.
You are a ward in some form, shape, or fashion. You're the village auntie. This book will help as well.
In your introduction, you say, as parents, we all desire to give our children the best of everything. However, in our rush to provide them with a room full of joy and toys, the latest digital gadgets, enroll them in the best schools, and secure their futures with the finest opportunities, we sometimes overlook the most crucial gifts that can only shape a child's character and their destinies. Those that nurture their spirit, their soul, and their body. Note their positioning, their spirit, their soul, and their body. And so it's important that you get this. Great gifts to give your children is a great gift to you.
That's right.
As parent, as caregiver, as people who shape, teachers as well, because a lot of these gifts are things that you can actually use in your classroom because you're encountering many personalities. But what can you leave as a legacy? Who are you leaving as a legacy? How are you forming and shaping this gift given to you by God to form and to shape? The book by Dr. Linda Jones is called Great Gifts to Give Your Children. Legacy is not what you leave behind, but who you leave behind. It's available on Amazon. So for our viewers all over the world, you can get your copy. To our viewers in Barbados, if you want the physical copy because you want to walk into a physical store, you can go to CLC or Things Gospel and pick it up. And don't pick it up and put it down. Pick it up and read it every day.
Every day, yes.
Take your time on this.
Yes,
Dr.
awesome.
Jones, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being inspired and being obedient to the call to write. From 30, you became 50, and now it's to be continued.
Yes,
to be continued.
Actually 55 in here. There. Thank you.
There you go. Yes. There's even more. So thank you so much indeed, and may
thank
God
you for
continue
having
to bless
me.
you to do so.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Morning Barbados breaks here. We're back in just a moment.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at Morning
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I'm there now, but we're also inviting you tomorrow to come onto the campus grounds to get to know more about the Department of Culture and Performing Arts. Culture, Creative and Performing Arts.
Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts.
You see that?
I'm in the Department of Creative and Performing Arts.
And so you head that department, as a matter of fact.
Indeed I do.
We just got a sense of the energy and the kinds of things that happen in the spaces that you live in practically day by day, moment by moment. Talk to me about what that department does and who is it for?
Well, you saw some examples of expression. Cultural expression is what we call it. But the department, as an undergraduate offering, as you saw, dance, theater, music, film. But our students are also engaged in understanding all the different elements that fit into that. So they do courses in terms of psychology, sociology, business. They're very involved in thinking entrepreneurially, so on and so forth, so that they have the skills to be able to create their own vision. And that is key, especially within our communities, the identities, the histories you were talking about. You were talking about parents sharing values. How do we create now an environment where there are products that help to communicate those ideas? And then at the master's level, we have a master's in creative arts. You can study arts education, which again is learning how to communicate those values, learning how we can create a culture of innovation, creativity, and then entrepreneurship. How can we commodify it? How can we use now what we call the intellectual property to ensure that our businesses are sustained in the creative world? So that's just a nutshell, really.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll break that enough in a minute. His name is Andrew Millington, by the way. And so with all of that, we tend to think that the thing I love to do is just the thing I love to do. Why do I have to formalize it through education? Why do I have to bother about this or bother with studying at all? And what do you say to that thinking?
Even with my kids, what I try to do is to have them look behind what it is they feel inside. Okay? So my daughter loved to draw, she loved art and whatnot, but she never understood the science of it. Why is it that we respond to certain images in quite the way that we do? So that she created better images. She went on to study other things, and she could take those sorts of skills now, critically thinking, to look at the ideas, and it caused her to think even more divergently. In other words, she could be empathetic. She could think about how other people saw the world and be able to create around it. So those are just some of the things that we try to instill, and why you study the arts, why it is critical to our very well-being. All right. Used to say, you need homes, you need shelter, you need water. One of the critical things you need in this life is culture. And to be able to create means that you are sustaining life and you're sustaining society.
Without even know it.
Exactly.
And so, as we were just speaking, in terms of leaving the legacy of a who behind, understanding the space that we operate in, understanding why I would push the table this way and not just lift it, and what that means to from my ancestry to now, and understanding why we eat with a fork and knife or why we no longer eat with hands. All of those kinds of things are what you would look at in that department.
Absolutely, and I'll give you a perfect example. Dance, which is about movement. How peculiar are we in our culture, the way we walk? You go down Bridgetown and you see men walking on the street. That is typical of a Caribbean person, or the way women move in the world. When you begin to study that, you begin to understand how we operate in the world. You begin to think, for example, they call it ergonomically now, how to design for our own ways of expressing ourselves that accommodate who we are and how we do things. And this is a very key, important part of who we are as people and how we develop in the world, both physically and spiritually.
And that's a skill set that's so necessary in so many different areas.
Absolutely.
So critical. So even in the profession I'm in, even if you're in banking or any other structural, you know what I mean. We have to understand the psyche. We have to understand the thinking. We have to understand, as you said, what happens behind the curtains.
Indeed.
So that we're able to put on not just the best show, not for spectacle alone, but that we do represent authentically what it is that we're trying to say.
Right.
And so for the critical thinker in any organization, you're saying, don't think that critical thinking is just simply sitting down and doing the theory of. Come into the Department of Performing Arts and you will begin to see things a whole lot different.
Absolutely. Some of the students are actually looking at your expression and your way
Who? You mean you as
our
a who?
students, we study everything.
You mean me?
Why is it Rihanna cultivates a character?
Yes.
A persona. Not just because of who she is, and we have to go through and think about the psychology and her image. Where does she learn all that? Where does she put all that together? When you sit here and you interview, a guest, you have already entered into their mind because you've done research. Your job is to make sure they're able to express what it is, the message that you want the audience. But that's a science, and that's something that daily you're doing that really a lot of us really need to think more about. How can we be empathetic even in engaging with our friends and our family and learn to communicate more effectively so that we can create the space of, I don't want to say of peace, but when you're talking about care of the soul, we're talking about the care of people, we're talking about learning and doing things and achieving things, we want to be effective in our communication. That's where theater is, that's where film is, that's where dance is, that's where music is. All right, we are learning different ways of speaking to each other that connect on different levels, that connect with a certain emotional language. And that then brings emotional intelligence. All right? That means that we are all now working together and understand collaboratively who's doing what, our different roles, to achieve all kinds of different objectives.
I feel so under the microscope. But nonetheless.
You are a perfect example of an inspiration.
All right, sir. All right, sir, students. But you know, the thing is, I'm watching you communicate as well.
Yes.
And I know this is how we do it in the Caribbean. We talk with our hands, we express with our bodies.
Yeah.
We express completely with the whole of self. But it's to understand that.
Yes.
But there are nuances that could differentiate one from the other.
Right.
And is that also part of the course of study?
It has to be. And you have to know your audience. So I went to a conference once, and a Caribbean woman got up to speak. And she used a very religious, we understand when we go to church, the passion that the preacher is going to bring. She was in that mode and in that style. The Western folks, the women, they said, oh, this is a bit too much, even though all the intellectual points were being covered and whatnot. And what they failed to understand was that maybe she did not take to the audience and understand the audience weren't looking for that. But eventually, they weren't, we were able to win them over because they were saying, yes, we have listened to you for so long, now it's time for you to listen to us.
Yes.
To understand and appreciate how we express ourselves, how unique that is. And really, they could learn a lot from us.
Communicators, this is a course for you. I think all of us in this art form, this is something we need to get beneath and understand as well. Don't just see it as dance and theater and film and all of it. It's the theory of the human existence, and to be able to put that into a perspective that we are able to use it as part of our communication toolbox. And I want to encourage, so oftentimes we hear the creative and performing arts, and we think of those who do dance, who do arts and different expressions, and it's just for them. And I deliberately framed it that way.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see in your classrooms?
Well, I tell you who I see already, and they don't even realize it. Two of my colleagues are here this morning, Gavin and Alicia.
The economists.
Economists. Their whole world, I'm going to have to face the music when I get back to them, is based on culture and creative expression. All right? The minute that you talk about a woman taking $10 and trying to budget, all right, what she places in her head is an image of her feeding the family, of making sure the kids are off to school, they're doing homework, or they're doing all these different things, making sure clothes, what have you, all right? There's a way in which you begin to understand how she needs to communicate, how she needs to express herself in that. And that is the economics of it.
I get you. She has a vision. She creates a picture, and
she has
there's
to.
a vision.
Yes.
She knows the storyline, and she sees the outcome. because she wants that child to benefit from those $10.
I think you were in our class.
I'm getting you.
This is perfect.
I'm getting you. And so this is what we were talking about when we were talking about the Department of
Culture, Creative, and Performing Arts.
Thank you so
Think
much.
of the link. Culture.
I got that.
It comes then, how creative are we in culture?
And how do we perform it?
And how do we perform it?
I get you. So tomorrow, when we come to the UE, we get a chance to understand better what it is that area is about.
Yeah,
so we want to see more people come. And I deliberately said communicators, bankers, because once we interface with people, we need to understand who they are and how they think and how we can now fashion our communication.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone needs to be a part of this department.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
Or take courses in that.
Or take
department.
courses.
We're moving in an educational environment where we're recognizing interdisciplinary is somehow important to how we see the world and how we operate in the world. All right. I'm going to throw in AI here because what happens is that sometimes we think, oh, we're going to lose jobs. But those skills just turn over. And we are the ones who are going to determine what happens with the technology.
My man, you made me smile. We're going to talk about that when we come right back after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're talking to the head of Creative and Performing Arts at the University of the West Indies, all part of the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. Andrew Millington is his name. And so you mentioned the use of technology. The current technology that seems to be threatening everybody emotionally is AI, artificial intelligence. But your position, you have a different position. What's your position?
Well, my position is that technology is always going to be evolving. In terms of history, it's evolving at a most volatile rate now. But we have to understand that at every juncture, there has always been a reticence about it's going to take jobs or it's going to do this, we're going to lose our souls, we're going to lose our minds. But the onus now is on the individual to take the technology and to elevate themselves and to control it for its own, for our own ends. Because really, it's there to help us. There are going to be negatives that we're going to have to counter, all right? Before we had this idea of social media, I like Dr. Jones's book because what she was saying is to counter some of those things, go back to some of our original values.
Yes.
Go back to our values. Let's figure out what are the skills we have. We are going to determine how the future evolves. We are going to determine through our imaginations what will be. And technology has to be at service to that cause. And if we maintain that and keep that closely in mind and recognize that we are in a society where we need to look after each other and work with each other to serve common goals, and we begin to understand that technology can actually be our friend. And if we use it ethically and we use it wisely, we are elevating our ability to survive and sustain ourselves in the future.
Would you believe that they talk about this in the Department of Creative and Performing Arts? The psychology of it, all of that, they do.
Yeah.
And so being in that department is not just to stretch and show how well
No,
you
it's
can
not.
dance. It's not show about just behind the lens. There's so much more that helps to shape and form your lived experience. And then you can return to society and be a better contributor to society. And so let's talk a little bit about some of those courses within the department that I just mentioned psychology.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, across the university, sociology, you have to do a science, you have to do law and what have you, because we are looking at the total individual. We're looking at someone who has the ability to know how scientists think. How do they come, especially today, now I'm thinking about it, there's so much when we go onto Google or even AI that we have to be careful of sources and how in fact people come to knowledge, how they come to thinking the way that they do. The scientists do it a certain way. Our economist friend Gavin here has a certain way, a discipline of thinking about the world within his own world of economics. The lawyers think a certain way. The artists think a certain way. Creativity has its own way of producing. Once we begin to understand that, we give our minds the ability to be fed with stuff that is salient, stuff that is necessary for us, I keep saying it, for making our way in the world. All right? And this becomes very important because then we begin to look at little things. We begin to understand why our children behave the way they do. We begin to understand why we have a criminal element. We begin to understand all these different, and how do we go study it. All right? The university, I think, gives you an excellent opportunity, to begin to think critically and to offer solutions. And because this is the most important thing, and that, it's not just one solution, it's that we have different ideas about how to improve and how to make better our living. And again, going to politics, that's democracy. That's being able to contribute intelligently and to work together towards that common objective.
So if you have that child you see looking and doing things, whether they're crawling up the wall,
absolutely,
this for them. Cutting up paper all over the place, this is for them. Talking a lot, this is for them. And so this is the whole point. And the education at the University of the West Indies, the discipline that flows therefrom, you will find is such a good fabric for our society to thrive on. And that's why we keep encouraging all of you to consider going into the University of the West Indies, availing yourselves of the education and the training of mind there. It's not an indoctrination. It is an exploration of what's possible through your mind and help you to in a responsible way, make some very informed decisions as you go forward. So tomorrow, Wednesday, from 10 in the morning, on the Guild grounds is where you should be, and engage with Andrew and all of his team and everyone else in the Faculty of Social Sciences, also the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. From 10 o'clock in the morning, children come, parents come. There's an African showcase, there are a Matrix game bus, food trucks, entertainment, everything. It's going to be quite fun tomorrow. But education is fun, as a matter of fact. If you need to know more, go on to the website of the University of the West Indies at KFIL, search for the Faculty of Social Sciences, and you will see what I'm talking about, and the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts as well.
You got it.
Got it. By the end of the day, I'll get it, I know for sure. And so that's where you go, and you avail yourselves of all of the courses on offer. Thank you so much, Andrew.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
We taught life.
Indeed.
And we didn't even get us to dance. We taught life, but that's what it's all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados comes back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oistins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics.
We're 9 minutes to go to 8 o'clock. We're pleased to reach across the seas now to engage with a man who is an author, a filmmaker, and he's already produced a number of books, including one titled, Mama Can't Raise No Man. And I'm curious about that title and what that book holds, because his work is one from which we can learn. There are a number of them. We'll talk to him now. His name is Robin Travis. Robin, good morning to you.
Greetings, guys. Greetings, Barbados. Thank you so much for having me. Humbled to be here.
You're very welcome. You found your footing in writing and making film and telling stories, basically. Talk to me a little bit about what inspired you to find this path of expression.
I wouldn't say that I found the path of expression. I'll say the path of expression found me. I was in a dark place in 2006. I came to Barbados. I can't remember the June or July. And then come by August, I found myself in a penitentiary system in Jamaica at the age of 19, 2020, I believe it was. I was in that dark place. I had already changed my life. I wasn't getting in trouble before that. I'd already changed my life. My son just been born. But basically, Jamaica, the experience in Jamaica, I was given a book reader. Once given the book, I decided, you know what, let me read it. And it was Purpose-Driven Life, and it encouraged me to find my purpose. Writing or reading was never a part of my story growing up. It found me. So yeah, this is a divine, like this moment, me being on Barbados, Good Morning Barbados TV. It's just divine. It's all been a divine journey. It's been a graceful blessing, man. We've done a lot of amazing things.
Yes, and so there are a number of books you've written. You've written one called Freedom from the Streets, Prisoner to the Streets, and Mama Can't Raise a Man. There we go. And so you're sharing with us, and talk to me a little bit about the one you just put down, the Mama Can't Raise a Man. I'm curious about what that book is about. What's it about?
To be fair, the title can be misleading. I was raised by a Bajan lady called Helena Ernestine Eswick, Bajan lady from Barbados, a parish, St. John's. She raised me, and my mother also raised me. So Big Mama and Mama raised me. It's to talk about what's missing, because one hand can't clap. And we seem to be in a world where a lot of men have become more feminine when it comes to dealing with matters, and a lot of that has led us to taking everything as a disrespect, I suppose. And we need the balance. Mm-hmm. That's what that book's about. It's written in a prison form, prison letters. The style of it is just, yeah, it was out of this world. It's done in prison letters, and it's a different style of telling a story. So it allows the man to express himself where you don't really get men expressing themselves. So prison letters was the way to tell the story.
Mm-hmm. A lot of your books then are written, would you say, from experience, or are they written from observation?
Bit of both. The first book, Prison to the Street, so I don't want to downplay my journey. I want the whole of Barbados to know who I am. Robin Travis. That show Top Boy was based off of myself and people from my estate. That they didn't tell the story correctly at all. They further criminalized us. Prison to the Streets is a title. It's also my dissertation in university when I studied criminology years and years back. To explain that we're not gang members, because I didn't believe in that title. I believe that sensationalizes it and criminalizes the black man, where I wanted to explain that my grandmother came from Barbados on a ship. And when they came to England, they were singing, "London is the place for me. London is the place for me," and wearing suits. They wasn't doing gang signs and all of this nonsense. And then National Front, who's also a gang, don't want to get too deep because it's early, was chasing those black individuals. We are the grandchildren of those individuals. So, yeah, got lost in translation.
Right. And so, therefore, in all of this, you have a story to tell, and you want people to learn from your experience, not just read the story and to, as we say in Barbados, gypsy into people's business, but to also understand what it means to have freedom from the streets, how it is to be able to be a prisoner to the streets. But you've been also moved not just from the writing for books, but you're creating film as well. Talk to me a little bit about your time as a filmmaker.
It's a real short Prison to the Street. I don't like to do it. It isn't about my life per se. I'm saying I have the solution. I'm saying Barbados, bring me home to work with the people in prisons to do the workshops, to do what I need to do. I'm saying that I have the solution. I came together with a guy who stabbed me and a few guys who I stabbed to write that book. So it's practical and theory. In terms of the filmmaking, I've written 3 films this year. Need to just shoot them, really. Just transferring from the book world to the film world and about to execute and do my Spike Lee, John Singleton thing. But I need, more than anything, I'm so kind of overwhelmed about this moment. I need Barbados to know who Robin Travis is as an author before I take that next step.
What's your message, do you think, to young men like yourself who find themselves sometimes on the margin but who need an opportunity?
Sorry, it cut out. I didn't hear the beginning of the question.
I'm asking, what, from your perspective, do you think is your best advice to young men today who find themselves on the margin in search of an opportunity?
I'm not going to answer the way typical people would answer and come on here and just say, I'm an author, this is my life, and I've changed. I'm saying I've got a solution here. It's that deep. It's like, this book, because if anyone who viewers just Google it, I made peace with enemies. That's very rare.
All right.
I live in the same community. So, that book is more about trying to get people to, that is the solution, more or less, mostly.
Okay, so your books are, how can we get your books?
You can follow my website is Robin Travis Books Online. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Robin Travis, Facebook, Robin Travis, and various other platforms.
So there it is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name. It's spelled R-O-B-Y-N, and in some instances it's R-O-B-I-N. I-N. Okay, Robin Travis. And so Cain and Abel, he tells a story there as well. And so get it online and get a copy as soon as possible to learn a little bit more from his own writings, just what he's been able to do, to tell his story and to tell a story that could be inspirational to so many others as well. And look out for the opportunity to see his films that will soon be available in a screening near you. Robin, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you well in all of your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. One love, Barbados. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Indeed. Thank you very much. We're coming back right after this.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to
And that's it for today, everyone. My little crew joins me saying to all of you, have a great today. Be the will of the Lord. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.